What's up guys, it's Ed from Tech Source and welcome to Setup Wars episode 132 where you submit your desk setup to get featured on the show. If you guys want to participate, make sure to watch the video, link below. But with that said, let the Setup Wars begin. Kicking off the show, we got Christian from California and his gaming and editing setup. He's rocking two Acer 27-inch monitors that are hooked up to a desk mount, and below that he's got the Razer BlackWidow Chroma keyboard and the DeathAdder mouse. For audio, he's rocking the Turtle Beach Elite Pro headset and the JBL Flip 2 speaker. I feel like the setup is missing some storage space because there aren't any drawers or shelves nearby to store some of that extra stuff that he's got on the desk, like the G Fuel containers and the Xbox controllers. I mean, you do have space for it on the desk, but if it ends up bothering you or if you want a cleaner surface, I would invest into an Alex drawer that you can put next to your setup. You can move your Xbox on top of it and store your controllers and the G Fuel inside there, which will clean your setup a lot. But like I said, if it doesn't bother you, then don't worry about it. Another simple tweak you can do to your setup is run the mouse wire underneath the keyboard and wrap both of the cables together so that there's only one cable running across your desk instead of two. And finally, I would pick up some 3M tape and hook it behind your modem so that way you can attach it underneath your desk instead of just leaving them on the carpet over there in the corner. The cable management of your overall setup is really good, and it seems like you watched my cable management video, which is why I was surprised to find out that you didn't do anything with your modem and router. Also, I don't know what's going on behind your monitor, but that's definitely not the right way of using RGB strips. I see so many people doing this with their RGB strip because it's really hard to bend them around the corners. After all, it is one single piece. So instead of using one strip, I recommend using this 4-piece RGB set, which actually allows you to put one strip on each side of your monitor, kind of like what I did with my TV in the loft area. I'll drop a link to that video if you guys want to check that out. I don't know if a clear side panel was necessary for the PC considering the specs because it's rocking a locked Intel CPU with the stock heatsink, 8 gigs of RAM and the GTX 960. If you're planning to upgrade your PC later down the line, then disregard what I just said. The final thing I would recommend is changing the placement for your Blue Snowball Ice microphone. I feel like it's too far off on the right side. I'm not really sure how it's even picking up any audio. If you look at my poorly drawn illustration, you can see that there's a spot on your monitor arm that you can actually mount the boom arm on, and you can extend it up and over your monitor when you need to use it, and then simply fold it and hide it behind it once you are done. I don't know, try it out. If it works out, then it'll not only be more convenient talking into your microphone, but your setup would also look a lot cleaner. A very nice gaming and editing setup you got there. I'm confident with some minor tweaks, it will look a lot better and cleaner. Thank you, Christian, for entering. At number 2, we got Dexter all the way from his laboratory and his gaming and editing setup featuring a 24-inch monitor from ASUS and a Logitech G810 Orion keyboard with the Razer Mamba mouse. Look at the size of that mouse pad. Jesus, do you even use all that extra space? For audio, he's rocking a pair of Kanto YU4 speakers in gloss teal, which actually looks pretty nice, and he's also using the beyerdynamic headphones, which are hanging under his custom-made desk out of natural live edge. I don't know if that's the material or the actual brand name. There are some extra stuff on the desk like the PS4 Pro, the amplifier, and even a few other things, but it doesn't look cluttered, and Dexter doesn't seem to be going with that minimalistic look anyways. I love the fact that he went with the lamp that can be attached to the desk as opposed to a standard desk lamp that would have taken up extra space on the surface. The cable management is pretty much flawless. Everything is hooked up underneath the desk. We got a USB hub and an SD card reader on the right side, a controller on the left that's hooked up with some Velcro straps. I'm not really sure what that's connected to, and finally a cable box on the bottom right to store the power strips and the rest of the cables. Excellent work. The PC he's got is one hell of a beast, and it's equipped with the 7700K and the Titan X Pascal. Very nice. I would have loved to see some sexy custom cables considering it's a high-end build, but it is what it is. It's a very impressive gaming and editing setup you got there. Thank you, Dexter, for entering. Jumping into overkill territory, we got Dylan from Pennsylvania and his setup that he uses for gaming. It's packed with 3 24-inch monitors with a massive 50-inch smart TV up top that he's hooked up to his PS4. Needless to say, he doesn't need to leave his seat. I mean, unless he needs to take a dump, obviously, or for food. I'm not a fan of corner desks, but this one actually doesn't look too bad. On one side he's got his PS4, and on the opposite side is the PC, which is running on the 5820K, 16 gigs of RAM, and the MSI 980 Ti, which also has the NZXT Kraken cooler attached. I really love that headset stand for his Logitech G933. I tried looking for the same exact one so that I can buy it for my setup since I'm a huge fan of Game of Thrones, but I can't seem to find it. This isn't even an actual headset stand, it's a dragon statue, but I thought it would look dope on my desk anyways. Dylan, if you're watching this video, email me the link to that statue please, because I do want to pick one up for my setup. Thank you. Dylan also decided to mount the speakers on the floor stands instead of putting them on the desk itself. But then again, there were really only two options to begin with. Either this, or mounting them on the actual wall, sandwiching the TV. Good job drilling a hole in your desk for the keyboard and mouse, and the rest of the cables underneath your desk are hidden, so I can't say much. But overall, an excellent setup. Thank you, Dylan, for entering. Dory is up next with a very simple and clean productivity setup featuring the 27-inch 5K iMac, which is sandwiched between the Yamaha HS5 speakers, and we also got some Razer peripherals. It's always interesting when I come across setups that have both an iMac and Razer gear, completely opposite sides of the spectrum. He's got the BlackWidow Chroma keyboard with the Razer Mamba mouse, and he's even picked up a Firefly mousepad. What I really love about this setup is the attention to detail and how he kept everything asymmetrical. Everything is so precise and OCD friendly, it brings tears to my eyes. Cable management is also very clean. There are 2 racks underneath the desk to store all the wires on, and he even hooked up his Focusrite audio interface under the desk. Excellent work. So this looks like his recording studio as well, because on the other side is a recording booth that he set up using a mic stand and some acoustic panels. I definitely received some level of satisfaction looking at this setup. Excellent work, Dory, and thank you again for entering. Wrapping up this episode, we got Win and his multi-purpose setup in his office. So he uses it for programming, music creation, graphic design, and just general use. It consists of 2 LINNMON tabletops that he connected together to create a corner desk, and he also threw in 2 Alex drawers for support and additional storage. Monitor 1 is a 27-inch from LG, and the second one is a 25-inch ultrawide, which is used mainly for coding. He did go the wireless route, but surprisingly he didn't use the Apple wireless keyboard, and instead he's using the Logitech K750 keyboard with the MX Master. For audio, he's rocking 2 massive 8-inch speakers from Monoprice. I swear when I first looked at these I thought they were subwoofers, and then some Bose headphones hanging underneath the desk. But the main audio source for creating music are the guitars. He's got 1 for acoustic and 1 bass that are sitting next to his setup. Oh, I guess he does have another audio source as well, and that's the Creative Sound Blaster Roar, which is a Bluetooth speaker, and it also has a tiny Thor's hammer on, which is pretty cool. No complaints when it comes to cable management. Looks like everything is in order. All the wires are routed against his desk and into the Signum rack on the right side. The entire setup is being powered by his mid-2012 MacBook Pro Retina, and that pretty much concludes his submission. Thank you, Win, for entering. So that's it for this episode of Setup Wars. As always, make sure you guys drop your comments down below and vote on who you think has the best desk setup. I'll announce the winners on my social media platforms on the weekend. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.